What's the plan? GSL. In the service of ire.
Welcome back. It's time for the fourth best of three. It's time for Trap against GuMiho. We already had one STX Terran advance. Will the STX Protoss be able to do the same?
Yeah, Bogus just defeating, happy with the 2-1 advances. Sukud S happy now in the up and downs. There's so many other pro players here in Korea. It's going to be a sick week next week, but of course don't forget about the Codex Finals on Saturday. It's also going to be really exciting. But as you already said, the next match is going to be a good one. The thing about Trap is that he looked so strong in the first and second round of Code A. He defeated Oz with a 2-0 and he took down Supernova without losing a map. So GuMiho has to be very careful here. This is not going to be an easy match for him, even though he's a bit of the fan favorite, especially with his performance in the final of the last GSTL season. But still, Trap has proven to be a very tough opponent, and he definitely has it in him to take this Codex seat and advance right away without going through the ordeal of the up and downs.
Yeah, I'm just thinking ahead now into our next match. Trap versus GuMiho. This is a very old school StarCraft 1 player, a veteran, and a newbie, quote-unquote, StarCraft 2 compared to GuMiho. He's up against the Nine-Tailed Fox. He's up against the Towel Terran, a Code S player dropping down to the third round here. And I say it basically every time he plays, but I think GuMiho is still not even at his potential yet. If this guy ends his career without hitting a Code S Finals, I'll be really surprised. I'll be honest about that.
Well, the match is going to start really soon, and in order to achieve that goal, GuMiho would have to beat Trap here, yes, or go through the up and downs, which is always a bit of a hassle. And we talked earlier already about the players that we have next week in the up and down matches. I mean, I can go through the list of a few of them again in order to let you guys know how tough that's going to be. So, facing the up and downs are Ryung, DRG, Parting, Hyun, Yoda, JYP, Flash, MMA, Keen, MC, Alive, Yan, Genius, Bomber, Supernova, Boom Boom, Happy, Seed. It just doesn't stop.
It doesn't.
And one of those two guys will have to play the up and downs as well, and you don't want to be in there with this many excelling players having to fight for these few remaining spots in Code S. GuMiho is nodding to himself. The map is loading. It is Whirlwind. Our first non-mirror match of the day. It is a Protoss versus Terran, and we are going live in a few seconds. This is the GSL, the third round of Code A, our last best of three. The Protoss player starts to the bottom left of the map. It's another STX player. He wants to achieve what Bogus just did. He wants to go to God S. He is.
STX's sword, Trap.
There he is, rocking the light blue STX Soul puffy jacket. I don't know what those jackets are really called, but I call them puffy jackets because they're puffy and they're jackets.
Top right, we have his experienced opponent in StarCraft 2. Well, I could actually right now you can really call him the Slayer's killer. He defeated them single-handedly in the last GSTL finals. This is starting for FXO.
FXO GuMiho.
Yeah, real story.
Sad news.
Sad news, but I mean, maybe the real story here is GuMiho beat him so bad they just fell apart.
Yeah, yesterday Slayers announced that they are going to disband, which is a sad story. And it's a drama that still goes on in Korea right now. Yeah. One of the things that is really important in this match, though, is the record of Trap against Terran. Once again, we are faced with this problem that the Kesper player didn't play too many televised matches in StarCraft 2 just yet. So we have a pretty small sample size. But I just want to go through his recent history against Terran. I already talked about his first round win against Oz with a 2-0 and also about the match against Supernova. But the one tournament, the one event that Trap played in the last few weeks, that was the online tournament, the MLG versus Pro League Invitational. And let's just go down this list a little bit. Trap was able to win with a 2-0 against Kawaii Rice. He 2-0'd Select. He 2-0'd Illusion. He won against QXC without dropping a single map. He took out Puma. And the only player where he actually, or the only two players where he lost the map were Alive and Thorzane. Just think about that.
Yeah.
In this matchup, he seems to be really, really strong. GuMiho, of course, is a formidable opponent. He's a really strong Terran player. But this is a bit of a scary statistic.
GuMiho is great at aggression in the mid game, but in the late game, I feel is where he really shines. He is even going gas for Orbital here with his command center first. Both players are going for their respective Town Hall buildings first. We have Nexus first, who's first, command center first, and this is Trap being pretty bold, knowing that in the late game, GuMiho can be virtually unstoppable. So he's feeling pretty confident going to this. Now he sees the command center first. It's all he needs to know. Doesn't even want to waste the chance of losing his probe. He's going to tap the SCV 3 times. Will he get 4? No. He gets out.
The point that you raise is something that we talked about, but I want to point it out once again. We mentioned it when Bogus was playing, and I know that a few of you guys tune in to every single Code A game that we have, but quite a lot will probably just watch a few games and not catch every single match. So if you're a little bit new to, I don't want to say StarCraft 2, but just in the recent weeks haven't watched every single broadcast, the thing about the Casper players, once again, is that they have a bit of an advantage when it comes down to the preparations. They just have so many games, so many VODs and replays that they can analyze to know where exactly the strengths and the weaknesses of their opponent lie. And I feel that especially Casper excels when it comes down to preparing for their games. The training regime that they have and just the preparation in general is ridiculous. These guys are so good at just getting most out of it. So this is a problem that a lot of GSL players face these days. It will, of course, over time, especially I think in the next 2 seasons, it will start to vanish. There will be enough material to prepare for a Casper player too, especially if you look at players like Rain that appear in the OSL, in the GSL, then you have a lot, in WCS of course, then you have a lot of material, but Trap didn't play this many games just yet, so it's a little bit harder to prepare for him, and he's pretty strong, so GuMiho will just have to rely on his strength in the matchup in general, and his practice probably just try to cover all the bases.
By the way, Kelder, right now GuMiho is reactoring out Hellions. We've seen this become more popular recently in this matchup, usually with the drop play. And we're going to see a Banshee follow-up as well. Will he add another factory right now, though, or will he add more barracks? If he adds factories and goes to the mech, that could be really, really interesting and exciting. I just don't think that's what we're going to see, but he's got the option here. Forge goes down now for Trap as he adds his additional gateways. The Forge is going to be so useful, multi-purpose Forge here.
GuMiho goes into mech, scouts, and is like, wait a second, Trap is Protoss? I thought it was Zerg.
That may occur. He might have thought he was Terran as well. He's seen that stock right now. He's like, oh, that's not supposed to be.
Talking about it, are all the heroes Protoss?
Heroes? Yeah, I think so. Uh-oh.
The Hellions sneaking in, wow.
These are 2 Terran heroes here.
Yeah, they are. Let's be clustering them up.
Oh,
Did he
wow.
get enough shots off,
That was really weird that he clustered them up like that.
He lost 4, and 2
that's not
additional
over
Hellions
yet.
are moving in. They's everywhere.
He's
GuMiho.
really struggling to... Oh, my God.
Oh, the force field saved his ass.
That could not have been worse, though, for
11.
how the control was. I feel like GuMiho, he had some real potential to put pressure on there, but he pulled his probes consistently into choke points and lined them up at the same time.
He lost 11 of his units, and now the Banshee comes in. We have 2 observers, so you should know about even the 3rd base. But yeah, because I mentioned the heroes, just think about how funny it would be if you actually have a player preparing for a match and then he realizes, I mean, he doesn't have too much time, like a day or 2, and then suddenly he realizes that he was preparing for the wrong hero. If that was another race, that would be like awkward. Like,
that would be really funny.
I don't think it's ever going to happen, but it would just be so funny. He loses the game, and then in the interview later on, he's like, yeah, I kind of prepared for the wrong matchup. But look at this Banshee. Cloak is there, Observer ready.
Right in time.
But the Banshee survives, and 15 Harvesters killed at 9 minutes in the game. That's pretty awesome. And look at these Hellions.
Yeah, he's got 8 of them on the map, and he is adding barracks, getting his E-base up. He's not going into mech. He just wants to give him a hell of a time, pun intended.
That's going to be the case, especially if he now gets in and takes those sentries down. No force fields just hit, and boom!
Yep, targets him down. He's even getting the Zealots here. Not cloaking the Banshee for some reason. I don't think there's an Observer nearby this time.
No, he could have taken down the 3rd sentry too.
Some hesitation here from GuMiho, but that was still a really good trade for him. He finds himself a little bit low on the gas as he's starting to get these upgrades up. He hasn't even started plus armor yet, even though he did get the W bay. That Observer falls.
A lot of aggression by GuMiho in the early game. A lot, actually. +2, +1 is now being researched. Double upgrades.
Weird third base location for GuMiho. He's not taking the normal third, so I don't believe Trap is scouting yet. I'm going to check. It's not the place you'd expect to see a third, so it's pretty normal for him to completely skip out on it. He checked the normal location. He saw no command center there. The reason why that one is more normal is because it's closer and you can lift from your third base in your main if you need to.
The Harvest account is now in favor of GuMiho, which already tells a bit the story that we've seen so far. With the Protoss being behind in Harvesters, that is quite devastating, especially when you face 3 orbitals and the extra mules. That's not what you want to happen. And +1/+1 is, of course, going to give him a bit of an advantage in the upgrades too. If he adds the Armory with a good timing, he can go straight into +2/+2. We have extended thermal lens and the Colossi are now being built, but what do you do when you are trapped? Are you trying to hit a Colossus timing? Are you trying to take your third base? It's just really difficult. You might try to overpower your opponent when you see the third base and hit a timing here, but with all the losses that he suffered in the early game, this is just so difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
And there's the Armory already. He wants to go for a heavy upgrade style.
This is kind of like when we talked about in the PvP where you see the base is up and you didn't know it. You feel awkward. In this case, it's more like you found out that your best friend is actually cheating on his girlfriend and you don't know what to do about it. You're trying to figure out if you tell him, hey, I know. You don't even know if you want to tell him if you know, or do you tell the girlfriend? Do you ignore it?
What happens?
If you find out your best friend is cheating on his girlfriend, but you're also friends with the girlfriend, you know, what do you do?
My girlfriend?
Not you.
I'm gonna kill the guy.
Not you. No.
There's no question.
No, you're misunderstanding. Like,
no, I don't misunderstand anything. That guy is cheating.
No, but not
with my girlfriend.
Not with.
He's dead.
No.
Yes.
You find out that your friend is cheating on his girlfriend.
Oh.
And you're also friends with that girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, it's really complicated. It's hard to approach, but this Raven going with the Medivacs is super cool. He can point defense drone to save them. That is actually awesome. And now the Stalkers are going to find themselves in trouble, and also the Robotic Support Bay will go down. Meanwhile, Cloaked Banshees.
Exactly. He's taking down the Harvesters at the natural. GuMiho is everywhere. Look at this guy, 40 supply ahead. He's laying down the law right now. Trap is trapped in his own base.
Yep. Sticking true to his name, but I don't think he wants to in this case.
No, not at all. GuMiho is really... That's a private lesson.
Yeah.
People have to pay for this usually.
Yeah. Look at the supply man. 168 to 121. Tell him the story.
I don't know how much GuMiho usually charged for the hour, but that's a lesson for free that Trap currently gets. Look at this Micro. The force fields this time, trapping a lot of Marines on the other hand. +2 attack now halfway done. The third base is there.
He's not actually capitalizing on this engagement like he could be. The Marines are trapped at the back, but he's actually able to do a lot of damage. The Banshees are continuing to be an annoyance, and Trap is being picked apart piece by piece.
Banshees go wild. Yeah, bit by bit, one by one. Zealot after Zealot dies. Now he pulls his probes. This is GuMiho just completely... I'm sorry, guys, but this is him outplaying Trap.
Yeah, he's looking dominant here. He takes an advantage with the base, really uses it, and this is just barely not enough units to clean out the Protoss army, but he's going to get the Colossi, and that's what he wants.
Who needs Vikings? Who needs Vikings?
Who needs them, man?
He's so far ahead.
We just learned something new today, and the Marauders he pulls out of the main become multi-purpose Marauders that come into the other base. GG!
Trap is completely overwhelmed here.
Do you know the comic series and or movie Watchmen?
Yeah.
You know Dr. Manhattan, he just like holds objects up in front of him and dismantles them without even thinking while he's actually at a press conference with his other body. That's what GuMiho just did to Trap, man. He just picked him up, put him into pieces, and then dropped them to the floor.
If GuMiho would be an X-Man, he would be Magneto.
Yeah. He took all the pieces and pulled them apart. He actually just attacked 3 different locations at once. Banshees at the natural, tech structure in the main by a drop, and then the third base attacked by a ground army, and then he just shuffled them around like he was playing musical chairs. He decided when the music stopped, though, and that's not even fair.
But you know, Wolf, it's only over when the fat lady sings. 2 more games, maybe. if Trap is gonna win the next map, but right now GuMiho just looks so dominant. These Hellions in the early game already taking down 11 Harvesters was of course a big problem here for his opponent, but still the follow-up was just magnificent. Look at GuMiho, wow, he looks so confident here. He's like, okay, bring it. Yeah.
Looking dominant. That kind of feeling you get when you destroy someone in a game, like they had no chance.
But he should not get complacent here. That's the same thing that happened to Hyun. Hyun destroyed his opponent in game number 1, got a bit complacent in the next 2 games and lost the series with 1-2. So now we are heading into the next game, and this is Abyssal City. A horrible map for Protoss. It's another thing that works in advantage for GuMiho. Will the former Codes player claim his spot again? Is Trap able to force this 3rd game? We're gonna find out right now. GuMiho looking dominant in map number 2. This is Abyssal City. Here we go. The GSL. The 3rd round of Code. Trap up against GuMiho.